Welcome to Victor Hiking Trails. This is Dave Wright. I'm the chairman of Victor Hiking Trails. Today we're going to get a glimpse of what it's like on the Auburn Trail, starting actually in Farmington at the Farmington Mertensia Park. We're going to be heading west on the Auburn Trail, heading towards Victor. And I'll give you an idea of what it's like. The Auburn Trail is 8 to 10 feet wide, mostly stone dust, well compacted, so it's great for hiking, biking, cross-country skiing when there's snow, snowshoeing, bird watching, lots of activities. Here is where the Auburn Trail, which of course used to be the railroad, crosses Mud Creek. You can see the creek down below. The property to the right of the trail is currently under review. Could possibly become a housing development. If it does, then what you see in front of you will be conservation easement, and we would expect to have some trails down the path down to the creek. Here you see an old artifact from when the railroad used to be here. I suspect that that is a battery box that would control the crossings at Mertensia Road. This is the border between Farmington and Victor. So this is where the portion of the Auburn Trail in Victor begins. Travels approximately 9 miles over to the northwest corner of Victor, where it meets up with Farmington and the town of Pittsford. This is the west end of that property on my right that is under review for development, and the plan is, if it does get developed, is to have a entrance to the trails right along this ridge to my right. This would give access to people on the Auburn Trail to the trails that would be developed along Mud Creek. We are coming up to East Victor Road. It's the first crossing on the Auburn in Victor. There's also a development planned on my left, and when that gets built, there will be plans for a parking area for approximately 5 cars over in this wooded area here. This is East Victor Road. It is recommended that if you're biking, that you turn to the right, follow East Victor Road down to Break of Day Road, make a left on Break of Day, and then get back on the Auburn further to the west. If you're hiking, you can go up this trail. Currently, this section of the Auburn Trail is a little rough with the larger than desirable stones. The town of Victor has plans to improve this section of the trail, putting in finer stone dust, but also taking care of the erosion problems that you have when a trail goes straight up and down hills. As we get towards the end of the stone trail, we go on to a grassy area. Just want to be careful if you do ride your bike down here. It is a little steep, can be slippery, so make sure you slow down, take it easy. The Auburn Trail is actually on property that is owned by the golf course, 5J's, and you'll be going across a little boardwalk and then onto a wooden bridge that was a Eagle project. Here we have the information on when it was built and the troop that built it. This is Fish Creek. The railroad actually went up above. See the culvert where the creek went underneath the railroad. The railroad is at an upper level. As you exit the bridge, it's a little bit of a ramp, and it'll continue on towards Break of Day Road. Now as we start to go up this ramp to get back onto the elevation of the Auburn Trail, this is currently private property. The landowners have given us permission to put in this section of the trail, and they are currently working with the town to give the town a permanent trail easement so we can make sure that the town can take care of this in the future. This short section of the trail is still the original railroad bed. It does not have the typical stone dust. Off to the right is a parking lot for 3 cars. That's on Break of Day Road. This is where the bikes would come to get back onto the Auburn Trail. Here you see a typical bench provided by the town of Victor when they originally got the grant to build this Auburn Trail. Now we're coming to the second road crossing. This is Brace Road. There is parking over on the other side of the road on the left for 3 cars. If you go to the right on Brace Road, about a half a mile down the road is the Victor Municipal Park, open to the public. There are new signs that have been placed on the Auburn and the Lehigh Trail and the Trolley Trail, directing you to the rules and regulations for the trail. We're on the Auburn Trail. You will see these concrete posts, the letter S and a number. These were originally placed here for the railroad. They would tell the engineer how many miles it was to Syracuse. In addition to the mile markers on the Auburn Trail, there are also half-mile markers. The third road crossing is Ketchum Street in the village of Victor, and you can take that over to Victor Municipal Park. And then off to my left is Proximity Lane, and that is in the town of Victor. The Auburn continues on to the west. Now we are coming on to the area of the Victor train station, where they used to have several tracks. They had a flour mill They have the Victor train station for the passengers. And off to my right, there's a trail that takes you down to the current Twin Elders Brewery. Off to the left is a trail called the Glen Trail, and that will take you up to a neighborhood called Silverton Glen. This little bench was made by Victor Hiking Trails as part of the matching of the grant for the Auburn and the Lehigh trails. What used to be the train station for Victor is now some stores. This particular one, Finger Lakes Cannabis Company. We are now coming up to the 4th road crossing. This is Maple Avenue, mile 84. When we were in Farmington, we were at mile 81. This gazebo was part of the grant for the federal improvement of the trails. And this metalwork made by Mike Hauser, a Victor resident, also doubles as a bike rack. And along the trail there are interpretive signs that tell a little bit of the history of Victor, or it might point out some of the flora and fauna in Victor. So this concludes this section of the Auburn Trail. Look for other videos showing the continuation of the Auburn Trail through the village of Victor and over to the hamlet of Fishers.